Here's a little note about how I feel about your rights and freedoms. I'm not going to cover all of the Big Ten, but I'm going to cover most of them. The Eighth Amendment grants white people freedom from excessive bail, cruel and unusual punishments. I'd ask you to go talk to communities of color and find out how they feel about the Eighth Amendment. Number 7 is a guarantee of a trial by jury in civil cases. Number 6 gives us the right to a speedy and public trial if we're accused, under a system that almost guarantees we will be. Unless we're white. The Fifth Amendment is all about due process, freedom from self-incrimination, and double jeopardy, being tried for the same crime twice. I'm going to ask you to consult the communities of color that you don't consult with normally and ask them how they feel about this amendment. And while we're asking marginalized communities what they think about our laws, let's ask them what they think about the Fifth Amendment, freedom from unlawful searches and seizures. But it's the big two that's got me fed up. So let me just say this. On the First Amendment, you were granted the freedom of speech. You've abused that freedom by spreading lies, misinformation, propaganda, and hate speech, bigotry, racism. That isn't freedom of speech, nor should it ever be protected. You were granted the freedom of religion in the First Amendment. You've used that freedom of religion to essay your church members and then gaslight them right there on stage with you. You've used that freedom of religion to put American flags on your pulpit and be a nationalist or worse, fascist church, or patriot church for that matter. You've used and abused that freedom of religion using God to bully other people, to infiltrate our government and push a fairy tale agenda on everybody else who has an education, is smart, and doesn't suffer from the mental illness of the need for religion. You've been given the freedom of religion and you've abused it. You've been given the freedom of speech and you've abused it. Freedom of the press, also in the First Amendment. You've been given the freedom of the press and you've abused it with Newsmax, with Joe Rogan, with Rush Limbaugh, with all these fake people like Tucker Carlson who incites mass shootings and then laughs about it. And then his viewers get excited about it and rub off thinking about the next bang bang stick, murder stick they're going to buy without a background check because 50 senators won't sign that. You were given the freedom of press and you abused it. You were given the freedom of assembly in the First Amendment, and you abused that in Charlottesville, you abused that at every MAGA Klan rally, and you abused it on January 6th. Now, personally, I don't believe that freedom is a guaranteed right. These freedoms should be earned. We're seeing that that needs to be the case now. And with your Second Amendment that never said own guns, keep and bear are two different words, and the lack of your well-regulated militia yucks, your right to be a narcissistic sociopath is done. You were given the right to bear arms, and you murdered it.